All right, it's Friday, December 2nd. This is a pre-opening SPY report about 15 minutes to go before the open. You can see here the blue lines, the pre-market range is very wide. We had a jobs announcement that was very strong. Market dropped down pretty considerably, and then it bounced a little bit. Now we're kind of hovering near the lows of that pre-market range. So we're going to definitely have a down bias today. All we're doing, though, at the moment is just filling in this gap that I discussed in the closing video yesterday, where between the high of this bar and the low of this bar, that's kind of a fair value gap with a little inefficient pricing. So we're coming down in this area to kind of fill that in. The question is, do we continue lower towards this yellow line? The yellow line, as I discussed yesterday, would be a monthly failure where we barely take out the high of that month, move below the midpoint of the prior month. That could set up a move all the way down to the lows of those months. We're not there yet. It's just the beginning. On the daily chart, we're kind of starting down here, so we're nowhere near the yellow line yet. But we're going to see today if we can get continuation lower that really doesn't want to hold in this gap. That could be the sign that we're heading down there. So we're going to have to just see that. The only way we can get up action today in terms of at least the charts is to kind of come all the way back up and take out the midpoint of that bar yesterday, which would be kind of the pre-market highs. It doesn't look like we're anywhere near that. So you can't anticipate anything up today. If anything, you got any little rally would be an opportunity to look for a green to red move to take out these lows and see if we can build momentum to the downside. Again, we're not going to know for sure if we're going to build momentum to the downside until really today ends. In my opinion, you got to start trying to play that way. If we just hold in this area, then maybe you can get a 2 down, 2 up daily bar tomorrow, and that'll signal that we're still, moving higher, on the monthly chart, which, until we take out the midpoint of this bar, we're still kind of projecting up to those highs. But today we got to play the downside and see if a failure starts to develop. And again, we won't really know that until really the day ends and everything else, and then we can decide, are we building momentum to take out this yellow line, or are we just going to pause in this gap area and eventually head higher? But I don't think today is the day to play the long side, and we'll just play the short side, look for that either right out of the gates, red bar, or maybe a green to red move, and just see if we build a little momentum to the downside. If we can't build momentum to the downside, that'll give us maybe some confidence to get long into next week. But for now, you got to stick to the downside on the open and just kind of see if we start heading to this yellow line or not.